Ready? Okay. Our goal through all these practices, and really you go back to, I think it was 246 days ago was the last time we played against Arizona, and we've known the game that we were going to play in against Washington. We've known that it was going to be played at home, and I'm just really proud of our team and our coaches preparing to get to this point. And the mission has been to be 1-0, and we are. And we're 1-0 with a lot of things that we've got to get better at, to our standard. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about it on Sunday. Right now, we're going to enjoy this win. It's not an easy thing. You get an opportunity to coach against a team or a coaching staff that you've spent that much time with. You understand how their players are prepared. You understand that team will fight for 4 quarters. That was not a surprise to me, the way the game went. Special teams was a key factor that from our end, we ended up winning the game with the field goal, basically, but we put ourselves in a lot tougher situation because of our punt team, and we've got to improve that. But as far as Washington and the type of team we were facing, that didn't surprise me the way they fought. I knew that they'd be prepared. And so after the end of the game, wished Coach Peterson and those guys on staff the very best. And I really meant that for the Huskies and what they do. And, I know they feel the same way about us. So, that's over. And we were able to come out of it with a win. And so, we'll take that and we'll reevaluate where we are, and we'll try to be 1-0 again the next week. But the one thing is, that's how you want to start your season off, with a win. And it may not be as clean as, what we saw last year in the Fiesta Bowl, but we're a different football team. And I've been saying that. It's not that fifth-year senior that playing quarterback right now. It's not the running back. It's not a lot of players that were with us last year. And so we're a different team. And you know what? We didn't open up last year with a win, and this team did. And so if you want to talk about making strides and being better than you were before, we were able to find a way to win this game. And that's the most important thing, when it was all said and done. And what we set out to do 246 days ago was that. So appreciate our guys and the work they put in. And, I'm looking forward to, the next opportunity. But tonight, we're going to enjoy this. There's been a lot surrounding this game of just attention that's, understandable. At the same time, that really didn't have a whole lot to do with the 60 minutes of football. But these guys handled it. The coaches handled it. And for us to come out with a win, really proud of that. So with that, open up for questions.
Offensively, obviously, the first half looked very good. You guys moved the ball down the field really well, ran the ball really well. Second half, not so much. What happened between the two halves, and what would you learn about your team through that, I guess?
Well, we weren't very good on early downs in the second half. And what I learned about our team is we need to be better on early downs, or we put ourselves behind the chains. 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, that's hard. You're asking a lot of one, you're competing against percentages. 2, you're asking a lot of your players, your quarterback in particular, to try to get you the yards. And Finley was able to do it. I think we saw tonight Ryan run the ball and use his legs, and I think you can see that athletic ability that he has. And I really thought that was some of his better moments. And for Ryan, I thought he played well tonight. We missed a couple of shots in there, just a little bit. Those will be made at some point. But I thought for the most part, his reads, what he went through, making decisions, his competitiveness on the sideline, his leadership, all those things were very good for him going out there and having a chance to start in his first game. But you can't put yourself behind the chains on the offensive side. We had turnovers, 2 turnovers in the game. We didn't win the turnover battle tonight. I think they had 1, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so, we lost the turnover battle. That's usually not a good thing, and we didn't win in the special teams. So, really, you're talking about your team just really had a lot of grit to win the game is when it came down to it. And, we've got to be more balanced. And that's just a matter of, watching and learning from what we did in this game, and coaches and players evaluating that and going back and improving in those areas.
You guys play 59 and a half minutes, and it ends up coming down to a 46, 47-yard field goal. As a coach, is it difficult to not necessarily have things in your control? I mean, what's going through your head?
Yeah, you'd like that. You think you would like to come out and say, hey, we're 16-0. We're going to come out there and put another 21 up, and hope they don't score. And you always love to be in the driver's seat as a coach. And, a lot of teams like to be in the driver's seat and really respond when things are going really good. And then sometimes they don't respond very well when things are going bad. Well, we had some things go bad, and I thought our guys responded. That's something I learned about this team. We weren't in very good situations in this game, and we still responded and were able to find a way to win. So, it gets tight at the end of the game, and what you start thinking is they put themselves in a position to tie the game, maybe win it, but we had a couple sacks, which we hadn't had in the game, I think, until that point. And we had a couple sacks in that last drive. We push them out of really an opportunity to score a touchdown, which, the quarterback, he did a nice job throwing over the middle and completing some passes. But it put the field goal unit in a tough spot, and I thought we brought some pretty good pressure. I think it was Moxie coming off the edge that maybe pushed that ball just a little bit because he'd gotten close before. And so I don't know how much it missed by, but it was very, very slim from where I was standing. And then we're into overtime. So I'm talking with, our team or our coordinators, just saying, hey, get ready for overtime. What do we got? What's the plan? And, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have been surprised if that happened. We're into overtime. That's one of those games. And, it reminded me of the battle we had against Oregon, in 2009. And you play a team like that, and there's a lot of hype around it. Sometimes those things happen. But I will say this, and I didn't say earlier, but our crowd was fantastic. It was loud. It made it difficult. You've got a new quarterback, a young quarterback that comes into our place. That's how it should be. And that made a difference, in my opinion, with maybe some of his performance in that environment.
Last possession of the first half, you guys got down there, you end up taking the field goal. Talk about the clock management. Did that go the way you wanted it to? Do you wish you had that back a little bit?
How'd it go?
You took the field goal there at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
You had the clock management down by 6 seconds. Take the field goal on third down.
Yeah. We still had a timeout.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Is that the way? Was that a perfect way to manage it? No. But at that point, I think we were in a position to get the 3 points. We wanted to get points on the board, which ended up being the difference maker in the game. I think if you went and looked at all the different ways you could have handled it, probably could have got another play in there, without running the ball, but a throw. But at that point, you don't want to go down there and come out with nothing. And that was really the conversation that was going on. So for the situation, I think we managed it right. Down the road, when we're executing better, you're probably going to take advantage of one more play before you can use that timeout for your field goal unit. And, we'll learn from it. That's one of those things that I watch in these games. There's a lot of management that goes on there, and you learn from it. But ultimately, it won us the game. So I think, for this particular situation, it was the right thing.
Bryan, and I know you'd like to be done talking about it, but once you got out there, was it at all awkward or uncomfortable, being across from Pete? And we noticed pregame you guys didn't interact at all. There wasn't any of that.
Yeah.
Was it uncomfortable or weird for you?
It was different. It probably those things, yeah. Because you, a lot of times you're focused on the team that you're playing. You're looking at their players. You're seeing if, all the numbers match up and they have the right personnel. And then probably in this case, it's a little bit more of, you see Coach Chadd out there. You see Bob Gregory. You see Brent Pease, Coach Peterson. You're kind of watching a routine that you spend a lot of time with. So it was a little bit different, and probably for me in particular. I think, and everybody else, I think there was moments too, guys got together and got a chance to, wish each other the best of luck. So, and then, but ultimately, as we got into our routines, I mean, that competitive, it's time to play. You're thinking about your team. So that started to go away in a hurry, and I knew that there would be a moment at the end of the game we get a chance to say hello, and we were able to do that.
Coach, did you two talk at all before today? And then at the end of the game, it was a quick embrace. What was said between the two?
We talked about keeping it close in the game. Yeah. No, we didn't. I told him good luck. I told him I appreciated him. And, told those other guys on the staff, I wish you guys the very best moving forward. I don't know who they play, but, I want to see those guys succeed and be successful as well. So that was it. Kind of I would say fairly normal, at the end of the game, other than, a couple extra things in there. And I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to talk about this and maybe even talk about the game, which is something that when you get a chance to do that, hey, what'd you think? What'd you see? Maybe there's an opportunity in there at some point. It may not happen during the season. It may happen at the end of the year. But, to learn some things about our teams that can help us.
Sorry if you said this, I was trying to send my story off, but the defense, I mean, they just kind of bailed you out. It seemed like over and over again, especially in the second half, I mean, all 13 of their points came off, probably the punt game. I mean, just defensively, we talked about them having a chance to be great this year, and it seems like they really kind of stepped up to the challenge tonight.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't, in our words, I wouldn't say bailed out. I would say did their job. I thought our defense was flying around. They've got some very good skill players, and you saw it with their backs. You saw it with, there's some guys out there, some big, tall tight ends and wide receivers, too, that were making plays. I thought our guys stepped up on the defensive side. I thought the energy level, and every time they stepped out there, there was a confidence to go out there and get something done. And they were able to do that, and really they're the unit we leaned on there in that second half when the special teams wasn't going our way. And they went out there and they got us in position to win some field position battles there, to keep us at least manageable, where we weren't giving them, plus field position every time after we had to punt. The defense helped us out. And then really I think the key plays were made at the end of the game, with the sacks and some of those key plays that just pushed them just enough out of field goal range.
You had 3 running backs give you a lot of production today. Will you speak to how that worked early running them? It seemed like every other series there was a new guy out there, and to Jeremy in particular, how he really handled the load.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought all 3 of them had their moments in the game. And, we've learned something. We will have learned something about our running backs after watching them play and watching them play in our offense this year and the style that we're playing with. And what that means moving forward. So they were getting their opportunities. Some of them, there were some back-to-back plays, and so we rotated to try to stay fresh. When you have, 2-3 guys, you can do that. Down the road now, that may change. I mean, there might be more of just one guy continuously playing until he really needs an opportunity to come out. Because we're going to be in better condition, just by playing in games. And so we put the ball on the ground one time. And, that's unfortunate. We've been very good through fall camp with ball security. And so when it got put on the ground, and they recovered it, that's tough. So we'll go back to work on that. It'll continue to be an emphasis. Nobody's trying to do that. They might have made a play. I didn't see it. But, Devin Demas, I think we had a couple runs in there. We were in long yardage situations, and he put us back into a first down or manageable down. Kelsey had some big runs, some physical runs. I thought Jeremy there, if you watch him towards the end, there was really that second effort of power that he was able to generate and finish the runs. Those are the things that we were hoping to see. Now we're going to have to do it more consistently and still figure out, what numbers of run or how many numbers these guys get going into a game.
The 2 things that not going over and shaking hands and chatting before the game. Do you normally do that with the other head coach, and this was different, or do you not normally go do that?
Yeah, I don't. It kind of depends. I guess you get a little bit of a feel. So, I would say usually that happens. I think in this case, it was probably more, this is first game when we're kind of watching our guys, and it didn't happen. So
You mentioned
I've shook his hand before. Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't. It's like we've seen each other before. I don't think that was that big a deal.
You mentioned the punt game. What how do you explain not just one thing but three different things, and three kind of completely different things going on in that same unit?
Yeah, I don't have all those answers yet. I think we think we know, but until we pop on the tape, obviously when you have a touchdown return on your punt team, we didn't cover it properly. We didn't keep it contained. That's really what it comes down to. We didn't contain it. All right, when they run it up the middle, all right, sometimes that's just a good runner and good blocking. When you get outside and you take the corner and you run down the sideline, we didn't contain it. I don't know whose responsibility that was necessarily. We'll watch it, but that needs to be corrected. The block was a miscommunication. We had plenty of numbers to handle what they brought, and I wouldn't say lucked into it, but I don't know who it blocked it. That particular player saw two guys that didn't communicate and split them and put his hands up and made the block. Simple as that. So things that probably more frustrating is that it's correctable. It's something that we did. It wasn't something that we got beat by and weren't prepared for. So those are things we can fix, which in the game is very frustrating. After the game, when you've won it, you're going to go back and spend time on it and just go, hey, we need to go back to the drawing board on this and just basic fundamentals and simple things is really what it comes down to.
Couple more guys.
On the receiving end, it was a bunch of different players catching the ball and everything, but no one got in the end zone. Is that how the game was just going to play out, or is that kind of what we're going to see throughout the year?
I hope not. Yeah, if we don't have any receivers score, they might leave when it's all said and done. No, that wasn't the plan. I mean, we want to get in the end zone. We didn't get it, and we had a couple opportunities. Took a couple of shots in there, and we missed it just barely. But those are opportunities that we need to. You go back 246 days ago, we hit one. All right, we didn't hit it tonight, so we're going to find a way to hit it.
So the personnel stuff, you had 4 guys who didn't play. You had a guy with an Achilles, and then Deuce, I don't think ever played, which we didn't hear you on that. So
yeah.
Can you go through those 6 guys?
Yeah. So about Chase Blakely
Yeah,
in practice. Yeah, torn Achilles, and so he's going to be recovering this entire season. And then Travis Averill and Ray Ford did not play in the game. They'll be available to play this next week. Deuce did not play. Deuce had a little bit of a hand issue that happened in our second scrimmage, but feel like probably could have played, but didn't, and we expect to get him back this next week. Yeah, DJ Dean got dinged in practice and wasn't ready to play in this game. Rick Smith still, trying to get him to where he can go play. And he's just not there yet. But we expect these guys, and we'll reevaluate moving forward this week. I'd expect all those guys and everybody on our team to be available to play next week unless there's some dings. And DJ and Rick both, we'll see where they're at. Deuce being ready to play. So we should be at full strength unless something out of this game that I don't know about other than Chase Blakely will not be playing. And I think everybody came out of this healthy. Didn't see any ankles, knees, or anything like that, or shoulders that anybody was taken out for. So we should be at full strength moving forward.
You're rolling forward with discipline.
There was team rules.
All right, guys.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.